I've been making these bikepacking films for YouTube for nearly 5 years now, but it's only in the last 12 months or so where I've started to change the way that I film them. Now very quickly, hear me out because this is important. I started this channel 5 years ago, and when I started, my only goal was to make the best quality films possible, and by that I kind of just thought I'll go out and buy the most expensive kit I can, learn how to use it so that it looks like a professional film crew shot it. And it kind of works. My films have always been good quality, I'm happy with that. But one thing I just didn't think about that really has been holding my channel back, I think, is the story. But I'll be honest with you, actually capturing the bits of the story that people wanted to see, like the struggle I was facing and the people I met along the way, was always really hard. Because I had such a massive camera setup, getting that out and happening to have it out when something like that happened was really unlikely and really difficult to make happen. So what tended to happen is the camera would just stay in the bag and I would miss those sort of shots and just live it rather than film it, which meant everybody else missed out. I tried experimenting with 2 cameras of high quality, one that I could kind of quickly grab and film talking to myself, and that worked a little bit, but again, it was still very cumbersome. It took a lot of effort to get the mics on and all the lenses attachments and things. It just took far too long. It just wasn't practical. Until about 9 months ago, I started using an Insta360 X5 360 camera. I'll be completely transparent with you, this video is sponsored by Insta360. However, I wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't true. I have really been struggling making the stories good over the last few years, and since using the Insta360 X5, the 360 camera I've had mounted on my bike for about a year now, it's really unlocked that element of storytelling that I just didn't have in my older films. The thing I absolutely love is it's just there on the bike. I press a button and it records straight away, and it records all around me. So I can capture my expressions on my face, also the things that are happening in front of me. I don't have to adjust the camera, turn things around, it's just captured for me, it's easy. You really don't realise how much you need a camera like this until you get one. For years I'd have to mess about with different mounts and unscrew the action camera and turn it round to face me and then around again to get it pointing at something I wanted to see. And if I was going straight on but the interesting thing I wanted to capture was off to one side, I'd miss it. With 360 cameras you can make changes to the angles in post, so you can make sure that you don't miss any of those special moments that you otherwise would. Just like I did here in Finland when I came across these reindeer. You don't have to pan shots like that either, you can just instantly cut to another angle, so if you're riding and you suddenly want to comment on something or switch the camera around, you can. Here's an example of the way that I've done this to add to the story in a film. When I was planning this route, I purposely detoured away from where I actually wanted to go to come here. This is Tag Lane Dairy, and this is the nicest ice cream I've ever had anywhere in the world. You can also get really interesting B-roll with a 360 camera. To avoid your shots getting repetitive, they have loads of different settings like this bullet time or the tiny planet mode, all of which just adds a little bit of variety to your shots. This isn't going to make or break a good story, but it certainly helps. But the most important thing, and crucially the thing I've admired the most, is using the remote mic, the remote preview mic. I basically clip that onto me like I've got here and use it as a lav mic, and I can get really high quality audio just from that camera. I don't have to get anything else out and spend ages faffing setting it up. The camera's ready to go, the audio's ready to go with just a click of a button, and it's been a game changer. I tried something different here. Last summer, me and my dad did a 100-mile sportive, and I had a load of questions come in from subscribers, so we basically did a Q&A like interview. My dad had the GPS preview remote mic, and I just had the Insta360 X5 mounted on my bike. And because we had 2 really good quality mics and they were recording at the same time, we could do a really simple style interview, and that was the only piece of equipment that we brought. Is the footage that comes from the 360 camera better than my Sony cinema camera? Absolutely not, of course not. But capturing a good shot that you actually capture is always going to be better than the perfect shot that you don't. Over time, this camera has become my go-to for basically all action shots and the vlog elements of my films. I can leave it on the bike like this, and with basically a couple of twists I can take it off the bike, attach it to any accessories like a selfie pole stick if I want to do something like that, or even a little tripod attachment if I'm wanting to do something different. I even took this camera up to Arctic Finland where it was minus 25 degrees at times and used that for all my vlog stuff and for the action camera shots, and it was absolutely fine. I do genuinely feel that this camera was the piece of the puzzle missing to make the best cycling films possible. In the past, I just rely heavily on drone footage of amazing landscapes, but it was really difficult to actually capture me, the cyclist, in the footage because of the difficult challenge it is to actually ride your bike and control a drone at the same time. And I do a lot of flybys using the cinema camera, which are still important to me, but can become repetitive if not done properly. I'd intersperse that with action camera shots, but because the action camera was always fixed, again it was a little bit more of the same sort of footage, the same sort of angles, and it did get a little bit boring. But now I can adjust the angle, capture multiple things at once, and talk to the camera immediately with good audio. It all works really well together. So as you can see, my filming setup has evolved over the years, and it's evolving even more because I'm now using this. No, it's not just another Insta360 X5. This is actually an Insta360 X4 Air. It's the new camera that they've just released. It's very similar to the X5, except that it's smaller, as you can see. It does have a few differences which we'll touch on, but this is lighter, smaller and cheaper. So if you're wanting to get a similar camera to the X5, but you wanted to spend less and have it in a smaller package, then this could be interesting. This isn't a replacement camera for the X5, although it does look very similar. It does have a few differences which we'll touch on. The first is the sensor size. This has a smaller sensor than the X5. Although it has the same resolution, you do actually get better quality footage from the X5, but for most people shooting in bright light like this, you're not really going to notice that. Secondly, it has a smaller battery than the X5, so although it does have reasonably good runtime, the X5 will shoot for longer. And it's slightly simpler than the X5. This does have more advanced controls, so you can definitely get better quality footage from it than the X4. But if you're the sort of person, and I'll be honest, that I fall into this category, that just wants to press a button and shoot without having to faff about with the settings, then this will get you similar results. The X4 Air is actually £150 cheaper there or thereabouts to the X5. And for most people, I would wager it does the same sort of thing. If, however, you're wanting to go out and get the absolute best quality footage out of just this camera and you're going to maximise every shot, then you would probably want to spend the extra money and go for this. But for most people who are just going to be using this as a bike-mounted camera, getting shots of their face, getting shots of what they can see, and also getting some good vlog footage, good audio, then this might be a really good option for you. So why would you choose the X4 Air over the X5? It's basically three reasons. Portability, it's a smaller package, it's simple, there are fewer settings to mess about with, and it's cheaper. So if you're on a budget, that's the one you should go for. So that's how my filming setup's changed over the last year. I really enjoy making the films as they are now, and having these cameras where I can just press a button and capture stuff super easily has really helped. It's been a game changer for me. If you want to see these cameras in action and some of my recent films, I'll leave a link up there and in the description. I'll see you in the next one.